Now let's look at the derivative of sine and cosine. The derivative of sine is cosine, and the derivative of cosine is minus a sine. I will show you the derivative of sine, and you're going to need to be able to do the derivative of cosine. It's quite a bit of fun. If I were to take the derivative with respect to x of f of x, where f of x, in this case, is equal to sine of x, all right, this is the limit as delta x approaches 0 of f of x plus delta x minus f of x all over delta x. Always the first step. Now let's plug in or substitute in. This is a limit as delta x approaches 0 of sine of x plus delta x minus sine of x divided by delta x. Now you're going to need to use a trig identity. Sine of a plus b is equal to sine a cos b plus cos a sine b. So this is the limit as delta x goes to 0. So I'm going to break this part right here up. So this is cosine x. Oh, I did that backwards. That's okay. It's a sum. Sine delta x plus sine x cosine delta x minus sine of x all over delta x. Now, actually, this is going to work out for me fine. I want to, let me give this a go. Let me rearrange things so that I'm going to factor out a minus sine of x out of here. So this is the limit as delta x approaches 0 of, and I'm going to break this up into 2 here in just a second, cosine x sine delta x, now minus sine x. Now what am I left with when I pull sine x out? Minus sine x out. I'm left with 1 minus cosine delta x. And I'm going to break this up like this. I'm breaking it up into 2 fractions. So I'm going to look at the 2 separate limits. Let me switch colors here. This is the limit as delta x approaches 0 of, now this first term right here is a constant of cosine x sine delta x over delta x. Now you guys remember what this limit is. I'm running out of room, so I'm not going to rewrite it. This limit is just 1. All right, now it's going to be minus the limit as delta x approaches 0 of sine of x, and I should have factored that out to the front. Again, it's the same mistake I made a moment ago, times 1 minus cosine delta x, I need my parentheses, over delta x. Now you remember what this limit is. The limit as delta x approaches 0 of 1 minus cosine x, 1 minus cos x over x is 0. So this becomes cosine of x times 1 minus sine of x times 0, or just cosine of x. Now, it's much easier to use than it is to prove. All right, so for A, y prime is 2 cosine x. For B, y prime is 1/2. The derivative of sine is cosine x. For C, y prime, let's see, the derivative of x is just 1, and the derivative of cosine is minus sine x.